I think this chapter did a great job of showing us the type of person that it takes to just willingly, knowingly take another life, and those that are not yet ready for that. Naruto number 25 for your dreams.
Wow, the Kekkei Genkai, huh? Man! Well, hello, my brothers and sisters of the Nerd Nation. I, as always, am Jim, here to bring you another chapter review on the awesome and mind-bending, tantalizing, action-filled tale of Naruto. Our last chapter really saw us with, it was kind of the Haku and Sakura. No, Sasuke. God, I get the Sakura and Sasuke screwed up sometimes. I don't know why. I think just because the names are similar in the way that they start out with the SA. But anyway, Sasuke and Haku, it was their kind of, their meeting, their battle. And really the end of it wound up being Naruto going and kind of just coming in with a big grand entrance as he does, and really just kind of like leaping before he looks, so to speak. So that's where things left off. Of course, Sasuke caught in that ice mirrors prison, so to speak, and being attacked by Haku and really being helpless to do anything about it. But the chapter left off there, and it picks up right there, and it's great because Naruto's like, "Here comes the hero, I'm here to save the day," He's all like waving the flag type of thing, just crazy. And it's funny because you get Kakashi, and Kakashi's just like, "Oh God, what we needed was an ambush," and he all but painted a frickin' target on himself, right? So, and Zabuza's even just like, thinking in his mind, he's like, "Oh yeah, that little whelp, that little brat," or whatever, So then it goes and it takes us inside of the little magic mirror, move that we got going on over there that Haku's using, and Sasuke is in there and trying to figure out, well, number one, he's trying to figure out like what this technique actually is. Is Haku just using doppelgangers? Is it illusions? What is it that, he's trying to figure out what it is so he can figure out how to break it, how to break out of it, right? Because he's trapped obviously in this, mirrors all around him and above him and everything, and being attacked. And and it's just real comical because he's like, he can't figure anything out, and after a page or two, he's just like, "I'll just have to, rely on Naruto to hopefully get me out of here," right? Next thing you know, Naruto's like, "Hey, buddy, how you doing?" And he's in there. He's just like, "You idiot! Why would you come in here?" And Naruto's like, "What the hell? Yeah. Where's all the thanks for coming in to rescue you and stuff?" So Naruto, though, is very much like I said, he's a person who leaps before he looks in a lot of different respects, and you have to respect that about him because although it's something that I'm sure with age and training and whatnot, he'll gain more wisdom and he'll know not to just leap into a battle without assessing the situation. I believe that some of the raw talents that he has, certainly makes up for some of the shortcomings he has, and it shows you too that he's a human character. He's a flawed character. He's not a perfect human being by any means. And he's still a kid, 12 years old, man. You still got the world in front of you and a lot to learn. So. Very cool stuff, though. This chapter, though, was real neat because obviously Kakashi is still kind of locked with Zabuza and he can't do anything. And he's even thinking to himself, all right, if I go to help them, if I go to help Naruto and Sasuke to break out of this thing, then Zabuza is going to go for Tazuna, and if I even show one of my clones, one of my doppelgangers, whatever you want to call it, he's going to counter with his water ones. He's thinking through everything like a chess player. He's trying to think of moves ahead and everything else. And if I do this, this is what he's going to counter with. And I do this, this is what he's going to counter with. So it's very cool to see that and just kind of how Kakashi's mind thinks as far as trying to plan several steps ahead. So we wind up seeing, Naruto and Sasuke being obviously trapped in this prison, and Sasuke finally goes and he's just like, you know what? These are ice mirrors. Maybe I can go and just break them out with some fire. Obviously he can channel and use some fire, and so he winds up going, and he does this cool, this blaze of glory, and I just couldn't help but think of the Bon Jovi song from Young Guns 2. Take me down in a blaze of glory. Oh, Jesus Christ, don't ever sing again. What the hell was that? I'm going to have to cut that out. That was seriously that was like nails on a chalkboard and like just a couple of retards trying to hump a doorknob. Just terrible. Anyway, okay, so obviously my singing career has been pushed to the side temporarily, but, I am still good as far as dancing in front of a camera like a monkey for you folks over there, brothers and sisters. So as the chapter progresses, though, you wind up seeing that, of course, after he uses this Blaze of Glory move, that it hardly even touches the mirrors, And Haku, there's a very cool, and it's several pages where they talk about it and everything like that, and it shows you a background and a flashback of Haku, And Haku, as he was a very young child, an orphan and what have you, Zabuza found him pretty much by the side of the road, it looks like. And he's pretty much just like, yeah, you're a little orphan that's nobody's going to remember, and you're hungry, and you're going to starve, and you're going to die, and nobody's ever going to care or remember about you. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, negative Nancy, you know? It's like you could have just walked by the kid and not said anything, but you had to stop and be a prick. So anyway, this kid goes, and it's this flashback, of course, just a few panels, and Haku looks up and says, oh, we both got the same face or the same smile or whatever, you know? And obviously, we know what happens. Zabuza decided to go and take him and mold him into what he is today, and it took him under his wing. But they also go and they explain as well about that, what the hell was it called? The Gekko Senpai, the Shinobi of Fire, Bloodlines of the Fire, I don't know. Here we go. What is it? Shadow Clone. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I'm sorry. I couldn't even pronounce this. The Kekkei Genkai. And I think that's how it's pronounced. But basically, that's a technique, obviously. It's not basically. That is the technique that Haku's using. And it's very advanced. It's something that Kakashi doesn't even know about. And it's not something that can be... he says it's similar in the sense that it's kind of handed down from generation to generation, and only like a pure blood shinobi would be able to, would be able to actually learn this technique. It's like a generational thing. Kind of like the Sharingan Eye. It's not something that's just like, oh yeah, here, take this, pick up on that. It's something that's kind of passed down from generation to generation. So we realize that even at this young age, that this Haku is the real deal, man. Okay, this is like a pint-sized fucking tank, an unstoppable, immovable force in many different respects and ways, and in many respects is obviously light years ahead of probably many of the people present in this battle. Let's put it that way. So I don't know. I don't know. That's just what I take from it. So it's kind of neat because you wind up seeing Sasuke goes and he's getting a bunch of cuts all over him, every time he attacks and whatnot, and he's explaining about how he can't figure out where the attacks are coming from because he doesn't know if it's clones or if it's what, but all the mirrors like attack at once, but they're just superficial, like flesh wound type cuts, not actually going for, the jugular or the heart or any of the places that he could go to take out, just take him out. So we wind up finding out that so Haku really doesn't want to kill him, or at least that's what, it describes. But then they go and we get this whole speech from Haku about, listen, I'm not really kind of into this whole full shinobi thing and everything else. However, I believe my dreams are the dreams of the person that I care for and that I love, which we can presume is Zabuza, because it says I have my own dreams and everything else. So it's kind of neat to see this dynamic and this sort of almost like an inner struggle, it seems like I don't really want to kill you because that's not really what my dreams are. But here's the thing, like I'm loyal, and the person that I care about and love, I share in that person's dreams. So that's why I have to do this, and I will not hesitate to take your life if I need to, that type of thing. So I thought it was really kind of cool to see that dynamic, and between the whole I want to kill, I don't want to kill, I need to kill, I have to kill. And it is real cool, too, because you see Kakashi and Zabuza as the chapter goes and starts to wrap up, still kind of like locked, in about to be a battle, I'm presuming. And Zabuza goes and explains about, I think it's Zabuza who actually explains it to Kakashi, or maybe it's the other way around, but I think it's Zabuza explains about how he doesn't have anything to, basically, whoever says it, who cares? But the point is that when you grow up, like in a village where there's peace and you're not having to fight for your meals and you're not having to kill to survive, it's a different type of upbringing. You're not at the edge of sanity every day. You're not scraping and clawing just to make it another day. And what they're explaining is that this Haku is able to take a life. And actually, it's a Kakashi that's talking about it, because he's talking about how, it's very dangerous, obviously, and that even if Naruto and Sasuke could figure out how to, get past this particular move, it doesn't matter, because Haku is just like light years beyond them and is prepared to take a life. And that's the difference between Haku and, of course, a Sasuke, a Naruto, a Sakura, is that they're not yet at that point where they're prepared to go and just kill someone just because it needs to be done. Whereas Haku has probably had to kill somebody just for a meal before, just to be able to sleep for the night, So I really like how it's, showing like that growing up, almost like caged, but not caged, but growing up with with a lifestyle to where you don't have to worry about every little thing, and then growing up, kind of like on the streets, or in an environment where you're fighting for your life on a daily basis. So again, that's kind of the dynamic and the paradigm that I took between the two. So at the end of the chapter, though, I thought it was kind of nice, because as you get this whole whole talking about and everything else, and you get Naruto and Sasuke, they're both looking a little bit beat up over there and not looking too great. And we know that obviously Haku has gotten the drop on them and what have you. But then we go and we get this, and he's like, Kakashi, man, he's just like, you'll forgive me. if I put an end to this, right? And he's just like, Zabuza's like, going to use the Sharingan, huh? What a vulgar maneuver. So obvious, so lacking in finesse. Well, I don't know what he's going to pull out with this, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be something that we haven't seen before, because Kakashi, to me, is like that next level guy. He's that wild card guy, So I'm definitely excited and looking forward to digging into the next one. That is how the chapter ends off, though, on just a really cool kind of cliffhanger, Sasuke and Naruto are pretty much doomed to die unless somebody comes in to help them. And Kakashi is probably the only one that's fit to do it, but he can't do so. Otherwise, Zabuza will kill Tazuna and obviously negate the whole mission that they're on to begin with. So really just kind of a catch-22 situation. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. My chapter question, though, is what are your thoughts? I know in the last chapter I asked about, Haku and what we had seen so far of his abilities, but what are your thoughts so far on Haku and just kind of knowing a little bit about this past and that those two different ways of living, that sort of living on the edge, that having to fight for survival, and then of course, a person that grows up not having to go and fight for their meal or for their clothing or whatever it may be, you know what I mean? What are your thoughts on kind of just this chapter and the paradigm between the two? Obviously the similarities and then of course the differences. Leave your answer to that question in the comments down below. Feel free to hit the thumbs up, the like button if you should think that I deserve it, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. If the singing didn't turn you off, to the whole idea. So we will look forward to catching all of you in the next one, nation.
If Boba Fett only knew how difficult it was actually going to be to catch and then bring in the reward for Han Solo. And remember to follow me over on Facebook and Twitter, if you feel like it.